Hi, in this video I'll be setting up a new MacBook Pro for software development. For those who don't know, my name is Beto and I work at Expo, where I primarily focus on mobile and web development. In my free time, I do a lot of things like sometimes backend development, and I'm always down to try new things. In this video, I'll share the apps that I use to boost my productivity, including the settings I configure and development tools I rely on. So the computer that I've chosen is the new MacBook Pro with the M4 Max chip. This might be overkill for some developers, but for me, since I also create content, it's a great fit. I was previously using an M1, and while it has started to show its age, it still allowed me to get my work done. I opted for the 14-inch model because, in my experience, the 16-inch model is heavy and difficult to carry around. In my opinion, I think 14 inches is the perfect balance between portability and screen size, no more, no less. I also chose the nano texture display because my office is full of windows and I wanted to try it out. It's only been a day since I got the computer, but I really think it's the best decision I made, so I highly recommend this upgrade. For storage, I went for the 2 terabytes, which I find essential nowadays, especially for editing, and additionally I have a 1 terabyte external disk that I use to back up data when necessary. Alright, so that's the computer. Now let's dive into installing the apps that I use. By the way, this video is not sponsored by anyone, so just to be clear. Alrighty guys, so the first thing that I want to do is actually just go to my system settings. And by the way, I like to move a bit faster when I press Command Space and type the things that I'm looking for. This is a great shortcut, and if you don't use the Spotlight, you should be using it. So the first thing that I want to do is enable Apple Intelligence because I think this is going to be really cool. And I should be able to have access now. So I'll just say summarize, and it's asking me to speak to Siri. So, okay, hopefully it's not going to ask me. Oh, I thought it was going to ask me like, you know, do some stuff. But the cool thing about this is that we can now talk to Siri in a more very nice way, and also can help me write better emails and things like that. So another thing that I like is that we can press enter twice and then we can type some things. So if I press enter twice, you can see that it's asking me to enable the shortcut, and then I can say what time is it and hit enter. So it's giving me the time, but I can say what time is it in New York. All right, it's 1 hour later. Cool. And by the way, so this is not like a brand new computer because I cheated a little bit. I already have installed Arc, and by the way, I have it here. This is the Arc browser. And if you don't use it, by the way, you should use it. I think it's great since my friends told me about it. I've been using it. And if you are new to Arc, you actually should use my link. I will leave this in the description. They don't give me anything. If I share Arc with you, the only thing that I get, I think, is that I can choose these icons. So I need to refer people to use them. So it would be cool if you use my link if you haven't tried Arc. I would say the only difference to Chrome is that we have the tabs on the left. So in here we can start searching for stuff. So let's start with the first application that I want to install, which is going to be Linear. And by the way, I think I should be able to go to download and just press download for Mac. So at Expo, we actually use Linear. Linear is, one of the best apps that you can find out there. It's a local first app. I'm super excited about this application. So that's Linear. Then I also use Slack. So let's go ahead and say Slack download, hit enter. And here is Slack for Mac. So I'll just press download. And I already have an account, so I can just go ahead and close this in a moment. Which is cool about Arc is that if you press Command S, you're going to see your tabs in here, and you can toggle this sidebar, which gives you more space on screen, which is really cool. Okay, so the next one is going to be Discord. So maybe if I say download, we would also go directly to the download page. Okay, and it's loading. Oh, and actually this is a server, so let's go ahead and say Discord download Mac. And here we have it. So let's go ahead and go to the download for Mac. Another app that I use a lot is Notion. So let's go ahead and download Notion as well. We can simply search for this. I just press here, and in here we can just download for Mac. So all these are kind of standard applications. I use Zoom sometimes for meetings, so let's go ahead and download it as well. Download Zoom for Mac. And then let's just download for Apple Silicon. Now, another app that actually helps me a lot in my productivity, it's Magnet. And this one, it comes from the App Store. So if I go to the App Store and type Magnet, you can see that it's in here. It's already installed. And by the way, I think I paid for this one like $2 at the time, but it allows me to align my tabs on screen super quickly. So for example, if I press Control Option and left arrow, this is going to align this to left or right. Or I can use many shortcuts, and you can see them here, by the way. So I can do all kinds of things. If I want to maximize, I can just do the shortcut or press this on the toolbar, and we can do many things. So highly recommended. It's great. I've been using it for years. Of course, you need to learn the shortcuts, but once you know them, it's like nothing. So for example, if I want to align this to the right and then switch back to Arc, I do Command Tab and then Control Option left, and suddenly I have these two apps and I can toggle pressing Command Tab, which makes me very productive. Okay, cool. So let's expand this. The next app that I use, it's called Screen Studio. And Screen Studio, it's an app that you have to pay as well, but it allows you to record very cool videos. And just to show you what kind of videos you can record, let's go to x.com. I need to sign in. If you don't follow me, you should follow me already. But Screen Studio allows you to create videos like this one. And makes it very easy to edit them as well. And since I'm creating a bunch of apps all the time, sometimes I want to show people what I'm doing. And this Screen Studio software allows you to make this kind of zoom in, zoom out. You have to pay though, but I think it's worth it. Highly recommend it. Again, they are not paying me for this. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and download it. Download for Apple Silicon. The next one is going to be Raycast. Raycast is similar to Spotlight, but with superpowers. So I'll just go ahead and download this for Mac, and I'll show you how it works in a moment. The next one is going to be Docker. So let's search for Docker download. Sometimes I'm running containers in my local machine. In my side projects or at work, we need to have Docker. So I'll just go ahead and download for Mac. So Apple Silicon. The next one, it's called Table Plus. And this Table Plus, it's a modern native tool for database management. I really like to use Table Plus since I'm into local first apps. I have a bunch of SQLite databases sometimes in my machine. So let's go ahead and download this. Basically just allows you to see the records and run queries on your databases locally. Another one that can't be missed is Figma. If you don't know about Figma, Figma is for designing user interfaces. I'm pretty sure you already know about it, but if you don't know, you should use Figma for creating designs. I use Figma all the time for thumbnails, for designing my apps and things like that. All right, so the next thing is going to be download Xcode, since I'm using Xcode and simulators all the time. And by the way, I already installed Xcode because Xcode is going to take long. That's why I went ahead and do that before recording this video. But Xcode, you can download it from the App Store directly. Just press the download button. And also I went ahead and installed Android Studio. You can just go here to the Android download page. They should have a download page. Let's see. Oops, no. Anyways, you can just search for Android download, and you can download for Mac. Okay, this is the latest one, Ladybug. I really like that name. And I already have it installed, so I can just search for Android Studio and it's going to pop in here. So this is the first time that I'm opening Xcode. This is why it's asking me these things. So I have to agree and then put my password. Cool, so once you open Xcode, this is how it looks like. I usually do apps only for iOS. So I'll just select iOS and download and install. This is going to take some time, by the way. And I need to relaunch, so let's go ahead and press that. Cool. Now I have the latest Xcode simulators, and also comes with this code completion module, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and press continue. And here it is. This is how it looks, 16.1 at the time that I'm recording this video. Okay, so while this is downloading, I want to show you this app that I really like as well, and it's called KeyCast. And this is an open source app, by the way. And KeyCast basically allows you to display the keys that I'm pressing, and this is great for when I'm recording videos like this one. So let's go ahead and install it. But by the way, we need Brew to install this. So I think we are getting into the DevTools now. So the first thing that I'll do, I guess, is install Brew. So let's go ahead and search for Homebrew. If you are not familiar with Homebrew, I would say that you should be familiar if you are a software engineer. Homebrew basically is like a package manager for installing Mac applications. And the way we install it is by running this curl command. So I'll just copy this. So I'll open the regular terminal. And in this terminal, I'll just paste this curl and hit enter. It's going to ask me for my password. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay, so something important here, it's telling me that Xcode command line tools is going to be installed. So we actually want that. So let's go ahead and hit enter. This is good because the command line, the Xcode command line tools comes with some things like Git and some development dependencies. Okay, and the simulator is ready. That's good. Okay, so I figured while the DevTools are being installed, let's go ahead and go to my GitHub. So I'll say betomoedano here. This is going to take me to my profile on GitHub. And I prepared a repo which contains the setup that I use for my iTerm. And iTerm is a terminal that I really love to use. And here I have the settings. So if you are curious, you can just go to my GitHub and grab this Mac setup. It's just a JSON file that contains the settings for my terminal. So from here, what I can do is just download this file, the raw file, since I don't have Git installed in my machine. I'll just press this download button. And if I go now to my downloads, I have here this JSON file. All right, and Homebrew has been installed, as well as the Xcode developer tools. Now, there is something very important here that we need to do. We need to run this command to add Homebrew to our pad. And I think I can go ahead and copy these three things and paste them and hit enter. Okay, so, and after that, if I, if I use beam.tab, you can see that now I have this Z profile, which is my basically shell profile where I can have many things. So let's go ahead and inspect that. So I don't have anything, only brew, and that's fine for now. Let's quit that. And if I run brew, hit enter, and it's actually giving me some examples that I can run with brew. So let me clear this terminal. And the next thing that I want to do is install the terminal that I like to use, which is iTerm. So iTerm2 install, and actually we can use Homebrew for this. So let's copy this formula, go back to the terminal and paste this in here and hit enter. Okay, and iTerm was installed. And that's basically what Homebrew does. It allows you to install programs directly through the terminal, which is cool. And now I should be able to just search for iTerm in my computer and it's already installed. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Now iTerm is going to need permissions for everything in my computer. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, cool. And this is a nice theme that comes by default. So if I press command, comma, it's going to open the settings. And from here, we can import settings for my terminal. And this is how it looks by default. Okay, so from here, let's try to run a command, for example, git. And as you can see, we already have git installed. This is because we installed the Xcode DevTools. So I can say git v, and this is the version that I'm using. Okay, now let's go back to KeyCast and we can install it using brew. So let's copy this formula, go to the iTerm in this case and paste it in here and hit enter. All right, and that was quick. Now I can search for keycast and hit enter. This is going to ask me to open permissions. So let's go ahead and do that. I need to provide permissions for input and monitoring. And I think I can use my Apple Watch for this. Okay, quit and reopened. And here we have it. This is this little icon. It's going to show info about KeyCast. So yeah, that's great. Here it is. Check automatically. Cool. Awesome. I'm using this version. Great. From here, what I'd like to do is display and go to Svelte. And here it is, by the way. Sorry, I had it on the other screen and I'm going to put it down here. This is how it looks, and we can change between default and Svelte. I'll just go ahead and use Svelte. And now, for example, if I press the keys, you can see that, everything that I'm doing, it's appearing in there. Now, this brings me to another setting that I want to show you. If I press the delete and, keep it down, it's not going to do it fast. So let's go to the system settings again. And in this case, we need to go to the keyboard. And the key repeat rate, I like it very fast and delayed very short. All right, and let's close this and let's try again. Okay, cool. This is awesome. I really like my keyboard being fast. Okay, so after installing iTerm, the next thing that every single software developer needs to do is install All My Sash and All My CSH. Basically, is like a plugin that you can use with iTerm to make it look cool. So if I go here and scroll down, here we have a curl. So let's go ahead and use this curl, copy and open the terminal, paste it in here, hit enter, and there we have it. So suddenly my terminal looks a bit different. And as you can see now, it has this, and now I can run commands like L, for example, to list files. And another thing that I like about all my ZSH is that you can just start typing the name of the folder that you want to navigate and then tab. You don't have to say CD, which is required for navigating. Cool. So now let's open these settings. And in this case, I can select profiles. These are my iTerm settings, by the way. And in here, I can go to the other actions, import JSON profiles. And if you remember, we downloaded my profile. So let's go ahead and select this one and open it. And let's select this and set as default. All right, so let's see what happens. Hopefully, if I restart my terminal, check automatically. Yeah, so I think I have my settings in here now. So this is just my profile, but I think actually I need to make some tweaks on the appearance and things like that. So I think I'll have to do that later. I don't want to make this video too long, but that's basically how you can import settings. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is configure my GitHub. So if I do git v, I get the version that I'm using. So my username is betomoedano. So let's hit enter. And then I can also set my email. And this is going to be betomoedano@outlook.com. Cool. Now, another very important thing is to set up SSH with GitHub. So to do that, we can run this command SSH keygen, passing the flag T, and then we pass this, this number in here, and then we can type the email. So in this case, betomoedano@outlook.com, and hit enter. Now it's asking me where I want to store this file. So I'll just leave it in the default. Let's hit enter. Now it's asking me for a passphrase. I won't be adding any passphrase since I don't want to be typing my passphrase every time that I'm using Git. So we can just hit enter again, and this is going to generate the passkey. So to view the content, we can run this command, content at, and then pass the key. In this case, this number, I'm passing it here, and hit enter. And this is my key. Okay, so once you have your key, you can go to GitHub and I can just scroll up. Oh, by the way, I need to sign in. Cool. So now here I can go to my settings. And if we scroll down on the left, we have this access SSH. So let's go ahead and create a new SSH key. The title is going to be MacBook Pro M4 Max. So I'll paste my key and add SSH key, and we have successfully added our MacBook Pro M4 Max. Okay, so from here, what I'll do is maybe just go to my profile and repos, and let's try to clone this repo using SSH. So I can copy this, go to my terminal. I'll just go to my desktop. Oh, and yeah, the permissions are kicking in. Now we can say git clone and paste this. Okay. And are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yes. Okay, so it looks like this is not working for me. I'll run this command, which is going to add the host manually. And let's try again. Okay, and now I'm able to access Git, which means if I go to my desktop and run git clone again with SSH, this is going to work. Cool. Okay, that was a bit painful, but I'm glad we have that down, so I can just clear here. Alrighty, so I think we are ready to install NVM. So let's go to Homebrew and let's type NVM. NVM, if you are not familiar, it's basically a node version manager that allows you to have many node versions installed in your machine. So I'll just go ahead and copy this and go to my terminal, paste it in here. This is great because you can have any node version that you need. Okay, so I have it in here now. Okay, and I think this is important. Once we install this, we need to add the following to our shell profile. Now, if I say beam tab, you can see that I have now an CSHRC. This is the profile that I like to use. So if I access this one, RC, you can see that actually this is the one that uses, this is the one that was installed when I installed all my ZSH. So I can quit for now. So I'll just go ahead and copy this all the way till the end. This is going to load NVM when we start our shell. So I'll use beam for this. And so in here we have a bunch of things. I'll just go ahead and paste this at the end. Okay, and then press colon, write and quit WQ and hit enter. Okay, so let me clear the terminal. And a tip that I want to show you is that if you don't know which shell are you using, you can say echo shell, and this is going to let you know which shell are you using. So once I've added the configuration, I should be able to run NVM version. So in this case, it's not working. So I need to say source ZSHRC. And this is going to like refresh my configuration. Now I can say NVM version, and I should be able to get my configuration. Cool. So now I can say NVM list, and it is going to tell me the list of node versions that I have installed. In this case, I don't have anything. So let's go ahead and install the stable version by saying NVM install node and hit enter. Okay, and it's going to be using node 23. I guess that's the stable version. Let's just double check. Let's go to Arc and say node. Yes. And let's click on here. Okay, and from here we can see that the latest version it's 22, and I have 23. I don't really like this, so I'll say npm install 22. Okay, and this is installing node version 22.11, which I think it's the one that they are recommending here. So if I say now npm list, I have 2 now, and the one that I'm using, it's the latest stable, which is good. So if I say node B, you can see that it says 22. Okay, so I think we're good now. I have like all the things that I need basically as a web developer and React Native developer. I only need Node, Xcode, and Android Studio. So just for fun, let's go to the documentation of Expo. So I'll say docs.expo.dev. This is going to take me here. And from here, I can actually start a new project. And by the way, that reminds me that I like to use Bun. So let's search for Bun and how we can install it. We can use a curl. We can use also Homebrew. So let's copy this command and paste it in here. And this should allow me to run the following command. So I'll open a new terminal and oh, this is ready. So now I can say bun b. Okay, so I'm using 1.1.34. Now I'll just go to my desktop folder and I'll create a new folder called apps and cd into apps. And in here I can say bun create expo app and hit enter. Okay, and it's asking me the name, so I'll just say my app just for testing and see if this works. By the way, the first time that you're gonna be running an app, you need to open the simulator first. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll open Xcode, and just so that we can kick the simulator, I'll create a new project, an empty project for iOS. So let's say test, and the organization is gonna be code with Beto. And next. Okay, this is gonna be in my desktop. I'm going to delete this later. I just want to come here and select, let's say, iPhone 16 Pro, and then play. This is going to kick the simulator. Yeah, and it's working. So at this point, the simulator is opened, and I can go ahead and cancel this and close Xcode. And from here, I'll just go to my apps and say Bun iOS. So this should install. Okay, so Xcode must be fully installed before you can continue. Okay, let's Google this error. Let's see. There's a GitHub issue. Okay, so you have to say sudo Xcode select contents developer. Cool. Let's put that in the terminal. Here, it's going to ask for my password. Okay, so then let's say bun iOS. Okay, so I guess we had to like select the DevTools somehow. Allow everything. Okay. Oh my goodness, and that was quick, huh? Awesome. Heck yeah. So here we have an Expo app. Let's try to see if we can do the same for Android. Okay, and this is going to break. Let's go ahead and open Android Studio because I haven't opened it. This is the first time, as you can see here. Okay, let's say open. And here we have it. So let's continue installing this, just the standard stuff. Okay, so I'm going to be installing these things. Let's press next, accept. And I have to scroll all the way down, I think. And I have to click on here and accept this as well. Let's go to the finish. Okay, this is why it broke. Yeah, I think this is going to take a while. Let's wait a little bit. So while this is being downloaded, let's go ahead and go to my Finder and I'll start installing all these applications that I have in here. Let's start by installing Linear. Let's double click this and open Linear. Usually I don't really like to add things to my navigation down here, and I need to remove all these, by the way. And here I have Linear. Cool. So I can sign in later. I'll just close this for now. Then let's go ahead and install Slack. So in this case, I just need to drag to my applications, and that should do it. Let's install Discord. Same thing. Let's just drag and drop. Notion, double click, drag and drop to applications, close. Zoom. Zoom is a bit different. We have to do this thing. We have to allow everything. Oops. Install for all users. Yes. I'm the only user though. Need to pass my password. Cool. Can move to trash. That's cool. Screen Studio. All right, so for Screen Studio, same thing. We can just move it in there. Raycast, same thing. Can drag and drop. Docker, same thing. Table Plus, same thing. Almost there. Figma, drag and drop. It's cool that some of the apps have like a customized UI in the installation process. I mean, in the dragging process. And I think I have everything. So let's go to the applications to double check. Okay, so here I have Docker, Raycast. Let's open Raycast. So in this case, we need to allow everything, but I just want to show you that Raycast is one of the coolest apps that's out there. Cool, your Mac, but better. Okay, they got me with that. Okay, let's go this setup. Continue. Cool, cool, cool. I'll accept everything. Open that login. So I'm planning actually to explore a bit more using the Spotlight search by Apple, since I think they are going to be integrating Apple Intelligence and might be useful. But also I'm used to using Raycast, so I'll go ahead and start it at login. So we need to provide access. Let's go ahead and do that. Raycast allow. Cool, almost there. Accessibility. Let me turn this on. And also this on. Cool. Continue. All right, and we got it. Ready to take off. In this case, it's going to be option space. And we have it. Awesome. That's something that I really like, is that you can call confetti and it's going to launch confetti. Cool. So I think, I mean, I'm not going to be like logging in into my Notion and all these applications because that's pretty straightforward. That's not useful in my opinion. Cool. So downloading the Android stuff, it's ready. And the next thing that I need to do here is set up my virtual device manager. Let's allow this in here. Okay, so in this case, I have a medium phone. I think this is new. This is new actually. Let me close this. So from here, I guess I can just press play. And this is going to start my Android emulator. All right, and here we have it. I want to make it a bit smaller. Let's see if I can do that. This usually takes time the first time. Okay, so it's working. So I can just close this, I think. Then let's go back to the Expo app and run Bon Android again. Cool, let's allow everything. All right, and it found it. So that means the application should be installed. Let's go back there. Cool, so it's working. Awesome, and looks pretty cool. Great, so yeah, I can go ahead and close this now. The cool thing is that it's going to save the state. Next time that I open that, it's going to be super quickly. Alrighty guys, and that wraps up the video of my new MacBook Pro setup. We did a bunch of things like installing Git, enabling the SSH, installing iTerm, and configuring a couple things like Brew, installing some of the apps that I use. I hope that you found this video helpful, whether you are setting up a new MacBook yourself or just looking for some inspiration to optimize your workflow. Let me know in the comments which tools or settings you use that I might have missed. I'm always excited to try out new things. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.